Hello, I'm Rupert Turton, and welcome to the Business Spotlight interview, where we talk to local business owners about their journey. Today, I'm joined by Mark Shaw from Cube Purple, who are a cloud-based time and attendance software business. So, Mark, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Obviously, actually, I know Cube is one of your businesses, but you've also got a couple of other products, related products, I guess, that you do as well.
Yeah, we've just gone through an evolution. So we were Clocked In, where we specialized in time and attendance systems. That has spread really into other areas. And we believed that Clocked In wasn't the right name for the business anymore, because obviously Clocked In suggests something, whereas Cube Purple, we're becoming more software developers, shall we say, across a number of different platforms and arenas.
Yeah. So just explain a little bit then about, well, Clocked In or Cube Purple, which name shall we go with, Mark?
Definitely Cube Purple. That is the legal name now.
Okay, yeah. So explain what Cube Purple does.
So as I just suggested, we do software development. We specialized in time and attendance. So that's the old-fashioned clocking in machine made digital with biometrics, fingerprint, and facial recognition. We've now moved on to another product, specifically in the passive fire protection industry, where when you create or build a building, you put in your firewalls and your compartmentalization to prevent the spread of fire. But that's done at the build stage rather than after the project's been built. And we record where those materials go. So with a floor plan, we can put a pin in a floor plan on a tablet, an iPad. And then if there is an inspection, you can look at this data and say what was installed where and when. Also, if you need to update that firewall, so you go from a 30-minute legislation firewall to a 60-minute legislation firewall, you can say, right, this is what I need to do to increase that protection. But we're also moving into software development for customers. So customers can come to us. We've got the experience of building software. So customers can come to us and say, we've got this plan. We'd like to build this. So that's the reason for the transition from a very specific software company to becoming more generalized.
Yeah. So what have been the biggest challenges running a software business?
Biggest challenges? To be honest, it's all been fun.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well,
I've had 3 careers. So just to give you some idea, for many years, I run big binding factories, where my last position in the industry, we produced 90 million books a year.
Yeah.
And that's where my time and attendance passion came from, because in a factory, you need everybody to turn up at the same time.
Yeah.
Completely by accident, I ended up by running my own building company. And I had guys working for me who were stealing time. So they were filling out a timesheet and effectively stealing time. And I thought there must be an app for this.
Yeah.
When I went to the market in 2011, I couldn't find one I liked, and I couldn't find one I liked at the price I liked. And I thought, I could do better, but I couldn't write software.
Yeah.
I knew what I wanted. So I designed what I wanted, found a software company to build it. And then I subsequently sold my building company. And this has been, I've enjoyed every moment of it. There's been challenges, but it's been fun. I've managed to travel more with the software company than I did with the building company.
Yeah.
Been to China 5 times, I think 6 times, India several times. But it has been fun. It has been fun.
Would you have said it was an advantage or a disadvantage developing a software product and application when you don't understand the programming and all the architecture and everything that has to go behind that?
Ooh, I think the important thing is you know what you want it to be in the end.
Mm.
And if you're prepared to learn and adapt and listen, which is
Yeah.
critical, to your developers and say, this is what I want. And they say, well, you can do this, but okay. And then it's drilling down to understanding this, how the software is built. But providing you know what you want out the end, and you've got a good partner,
Yeah.
which we did have and do have, I think it is achievable.
Yeah. Okay. So what have been the biggest issues you've had to overcome?
Knowledge
Mm.
from get-go, because what I knew about software you could write on the back of a stamp some 10 or 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's that knowledge, as you just alluded to, is how the software is created and built, and understanding data. If you can put data in boxes, you can create software and an app, and it's a collection of that data and how you want that data to be interpreted in
Yeah.
your platforms.
Yeah. Yeah. So what have you learned about yourself then during what sounds like quite a roller coaster journey?
Good question. I've never been asked that one before. What have I learned about myself? The ability to adapt,
Mm-hmm.
to learn, to understand, to engage with suppliers in foreign lands, China and India.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a brand new thing for me. Learning how to get the most out of those people, understanding their way of working,
Yeah.
which is different. So
Mm.
our challenge is, certainly with our development team, who are based in Jaipur in India, is how to narrow or shorten that 4,000-mile difference,
Yeah.
and have a good working relationship. So to overcome that, we every single day, we have a meeting with them,
Mm.
not because we need to discuss the product, because we need to ensure the relationship is working.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We try and make them feel like they're in the office next door.
Yeah.
And that's been the big advantage for us, in that kind of working relationship.
So what are the biggest opportunities for your industries in the next 5 years then? I'm guessing that the fire industry's got a very big future at the moment. Clocked In, I would have thought, has a similar sort of future.
Yeah, we've been lucky. We've been lucky. Some 7 years ago, talking about Clocked In specifically, I was invited to a meeting in London to talk about time and attendance.
Mm.
And it was a very interesting meeting. The incumbent supplier was awful, to choose their words rather than mine. And they needed a new supplier. We didn't do biometrics at the time. And they told us their expectations. And coincidentally, I was talking to my supplier, and they got this new product coming on board. And she sent me a few pictures. Anyway, in this meeting, we broke for lunch. I was Skyping my contact in China. Send me a picture of that device now. And when that picture arrived, I had it on the screen, and the team came back in, looked at the screen, and said, "That's what I want." And that's how we got into the NHS.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
And we now supply 33 NHSs across the country.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a fortunate moment. And not too dissimilar thing happened with our fire protection product, Fire Arrest. Customer came to us and said, we're spending this huge amount of money, 60,000, 70,000 pounds a year on the software. And I thought, whoa, 60,000, 70,000 pounds on software. I'm sure I could do better. We do, and it's a lot cheaper. And I feel with those two industries that we're in, we're fairly insulated from the recession that people are talking about. The NHS still need to have these kind of products for time and attendance and time management. The fire protection industry, everybody's got to be protected from fire. no
Yeah.
matter what the economy is. So we're fairly well insulated from that. Sorry, I'm rabbiting on now.
So what are your aspirations then for the company in the next 5 years?
That's a really good question. So I'm aware that I run my business slightly different to other people because I'm focused more on the people than the bottom line.
Yeah.
And I like and enjoy seeing people grow, giving people opportunity and let them grow and fulfill the role. And I'm a big, big believer, if you've got the right people in place, the bottom line will sort itself out.
Yeah.
With some management, of course, but you can't achieve the bottom line figures without the right team in place.
Yeah.
So that's where I come from running my business. I think I've been reasonably successful at that. So my ambition for the next 5 years is to grow the people within.
Yeah.
Frankly, I've got a desire to semi-retire next year.
All right. Yep.
With full retirement probably in 2 or 3 years. Whether that'll happen on that timescale, we'll get to see. But I want to grow the people. So I've got some people in positions that I want to grow to MD.
Yeah.
And that seems to be working fine. But for the business, I want to make our portfolio a little more diverse. So we've got as an old friend once said to me, you need multiple pipelines in a business. So we have a number of products that we're developing, have developed and developing. So we've got some really good products coming in the pipeline in the next 18 months or 2 years. So that will give us additional products to sell, grow and sell.
Yeah. Let's change tack slightly then. Who is the first person that comes to mind when you think about success?
I am an avid follower of Elon Musk and all that he's done and been through and his journey to get to where he is. It's not been an easy road for him. And I look for inspiration there. And I think some days when I've got challenges and you think about Elon Musk and the challenges that he has upon his shoulders running 3 multi-billion-pound companies, and the challenges that must go with that. He's also involved in a number of other things, and you think, where on earth does he find the time, mental energy, and the capacity to deal with all of that? He is a completely different animal to anybody else in the world. But I have huge admiration for what he's achieved and going to achieve.
I suspect his journey is still growing, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm currently reading his latest book biography, and you think, wow, what a lifetime of experience that is.
Yeah. Cool. Mark Shaw from Cube Purple, thank you for your time today. Been an interesting insight into your journey. If people want to contact you at Cube Purple, what do they need to do?
Jump on the website, cubepurple.com.
I'll put the link into the notes underneath this video as well. Mark, thank you for your time today. It's been lovely talking to you.
Thank you very much for your time. Take care.
Easy, eh?
Easy. So I told you I rabbit on a little bit.
You're all right, actually. I've had far worse. Sometimes stop. You know, the worst thing is I could interrupt you. Some people you can't interrupt either.
Yeah.
They just keep on going, don't they? So it's on and on they go. Yeah, it's interesting what you're saying actually, because I'm reading a book at the moment. I don't know if you've ever read it. Turn This Ship Around.
I haven't, no.
So it's about basically the guy gets promoted to captain of a nuclear submarine in the US Navy. And obviously you don't just suddenly turn up one morning and they say, oh yeah, you can be captain. And they were priming him to go on to a different submarine. So he'd spent, I think, something like 6 months rather, doing all the training. So he knew the submarine he was supposed to be going to technically inside out.
Yeah.
And then I think it was 2 weeks before he was due to take command, they said he wasn't getting command of that one, and they put him onto the Santa Fe, which he had no idea about how it worked. So he was having to basically he had to take command of a submarine, whereas historically he had been the technical expert on the submarine. He was suddenly in a position where he didn't understand how half of it worked. So he had to rely on his team to do everything, completely changed his management style. Plus, it was the worst performing submarine in the fleet at the time. It's a really fascinating book if you like that sort of thing.
I'll look out for it.
Yeah, it's well worth a read, I'd say.
Okay, I'll look out for it. Thank you for the recommendation.
All right. So what are you going to do when you retire then, Mark? You got plans?
Oh dear, I haven't got enough time in a day now.
Yeah, it's because you have to go to work though.
Yes, I'm involved in a lot of things outside of the business. So I am a town councillor.
For Uppingham.
For Uppingham.
Yeah.
Presumably you've heard of Uppingham First.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, don't forget, I only live in Oakham, so I'm only up the road.
Yeah. So I am currently vice chair of that, likely to be chair of that in the next, possibly before Christmas, because Edward Baines, do you know Edward Baines?
I know the name.
Yeah, he's chair of the...
I've seen posts and stuff on him. So
yeah, he's currently chair, but he perhaps won't. Not being unkind, but he's been unwell.
Okay, yeah.
Say. And he's quite an elderly gentleman. So he's likely to be chair of that. But the other part of that is I've got lots of holidays to have.
Oh yeah.
And lots of the world to see. So we've just got back from Japan only last Thursday morning.
Yeah, that's what you were saying on the phone last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, which was a fabulous time. And I need to see more of the world.
Yeah.
So
in particular, I'm sitting here with photos of the places I want to do. I don't know if you do a vision board. I do a vision board of things I want to do.
I used to have an Aston Martin on my wall because that was my aspiration. Never had one. Don't want one now. But that was the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many. Where do you start with that one? Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
Our problem.
I've got the train across the Rockies. That's definitely on the list. I've never been on safari.
We've been on safari.
Love to do that. That would be just brilliant. I'd like to go sailing in just the Mediterranean, actually, but happily go on a yacht in the Mediterranean for a few weeks, learn to sail a yacht and do that. I think it'll be fantastic.
Yeah, Amanda's done that. I don't fancy that. But
yeah, there's different things for different people. That's the point, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
And I'm a big blues music fan as well. I don't know if you've ever heard a guy called Joe Bonamassa, very big in the blues industry, but he does a cruise every couple of years. They do a cruise and they just have basically some brilliant bands come on. So basically you cruise around on a boat and listen to great music for 4 or 5 days. And
I think
that just sounds great fun to me.
Yeah. Our problem is we haven't done America.
Yeah.
We've done New York. But when we tend to book a holiday, we tend to go east rather than west.
Yeah.
So we did Cambodia, Thailand.
Oh, brilliant.
Cambodia is like, wow.
Yeah.
Blew me away, Cambodia. Japan.
For what reason?
Angkor Wat and the temples around there is just spectacular. Angkor Wat being the largest religious temple in the world.
Was it?
And it's vast. You'd lose Uppingham in it several times.
Yeah.
It is vast. And how it was built and all of that. But the people are lovely.
Yeah.
It's a horrid history that they have. But it's just, I much preferred that to Thailand. So we got
my son. My son's, I think it was Cambodia and Vietnam were part of his travels when he did his gap or his traveling after university. And my generation go, oh my God, you don't want to go there. And it's I think the world has moved on so much in the intervening period, and he said it was just brilliant. Yeah, that's where he tried to order a cow in a road. Yeah, apparently it's more shack than a roadside cafe. He said the woman who ran it, her bed was in the corner of the cafe.
Yeah.
And it turned out she was also the English teacher for the local school, and all her, because we're English people now, him and his mate were in there. They all came over to have a chat with them and practice their English. He said it was great, except they actually they didn't know very much, so they could say hello and they could say my name is, and that was pretty much
Yeah.
their English. But
Yeah. Vietnam was on our list. Like you say, the Rockies. Yeah. So there's so much to see. Not enough time to do it. So we want to spend a lot more time doing that.
Yeah, but it sounds like you've got your succession plan in place. So
working on it.
No, work in progress.
It's always work in progress, isn't it? Business is always work in progress. You never got the final solution.
Are you going to just take a passive income from the business then, or are you going to try and sell it?
Good question. Good question. So we did have a plan 2 or 3 years ago where we would set up a management team, brought some people on, where we would allow them or the business to buy us out. For one reason or another, that fell over.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to travel that road, which was unusual. So I'm open.
Yeah.
Might sell it, might try and travel the same road, or just might let it succeed and maybe turn up once a month share and take a passive income. Not sure.
Do a Richard Branson.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. But broadly, the structures you need to put in place are the same, because if you're going to sell it and get the best value, you need to demonstrate that you are no longer actively involved in the business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, if you're going to run it as to take a passive income, you don't want to be actively involved in the business. So either way, you need to do the same things, don't you?
Yeah, it's the same road. It's just which outcome do you want?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool.
We have plans.
Right. Anyway, I better let you get on with your day. So you'll get a copy of the newsletter and the video when it comes out in a couple of weeks. Obviously, you're welcome to share it and post it whether you like. We'll put it up on our social media. I tend to do a couple of these in a batch, so it might be a couple of weeks before I put you up onto to our social media as well. But I'll let you know about that
in your own time.
You'll continue to get the newsletter, so you can read about what other businesses are saying as well. I don't know if you had a chance to look at the Business Spotlight channel before we did this today.
No, I haven't, to be fair.
You'll see there's quite a few different people, and some of different areas of the country from different coaches are doing it as well.
Good idea.
Yeah. Oh, good. No. Hopefully, yeah. And I love doing these because it's actually really quite educational a lot of the time, because nobody approaches their business the same way. That's the really interesting thing that sits underneath as well.
And as I alluded to, I'm aware that I approach my different business in an entirely different way.
Well, I'm not sure you are, actually. That's what I find quite interesting. There are a lot of businesses who are totally focused on the numbers.
Yeah.
But the more successful ones tend to focus on the staff first and then the numbers, as opposed to it all being about the numbers.
Yeah.
And I think it's however you've picked that up, you definitely that seems to be I would say that is the better way to do it. That's probably what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely is. You're nothing without the people within.
Yeah. And if you read Turn
the
Ship Around, actually, that's what they're talking about in there as well. So
actually,
right,
yeah,
it'll resonate with your business. If you read it, let me know what you think as well. That would be interesting to see.
Yeah, will do.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, would it be such a terrible idea to have a focused 20 minutes on where you're taking the business sometime next week?
Sometime next week. To be honest, I have got a challenging next week or 10 days. That's why I've pulled you forward, because
that's fine.
But if we could do it the week after, that'll be fine.
Yeah, which week's that? Hang on, where's my diary? Whatever works for you, to be honest, Mark. 13th.
Let's have a look at the diary. 13th. Where am I? Week commencing 13th. Yeah, if we could do another early one. Thursday would probably be the best one. Thursday the 16th.
Yeah, hang on. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. I can't do anything before 10:30 on the 16th, I'm afraid.
Okay.
I can do the 17th.
On the Friday.
Oh, no, don't do the 17th. That's not going to work either. How about the week after? Oh, 21st, I can do early.
Yeah, I can do that.
Should we do that? 21st.
Just check both diaries. So I have a question for you then.
Go ahead.
Which week did you just say, sorry?
Well, I've said Tuesday, 21st of November, so the week of the 20th.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. I'll drop you an invite over in a minute, Mark.
Excellent. Yeah, so I have another question for you, just to go slightly off piste.
Yeah, go.
Have you heard of the Biz Club?
Yes.
Have you ever been?
The Falcon. Yes,
Yes.
actually, I haven't been for a couple of months because life keeps getting in the way. But yeah.
Well, for my sins, I am now the chair of the Biz Club.
Oh, yeah. What happened to Ian?
Different club. It was Shane.
Oh,
Shane James.
Oh, hang on. Maybe I'm on the wrong one. Tell me more.
So yeah, the Biz Club is a club that meets once a month.
Yep.
We have a luncheon every month, to which we have a speaker.
Yep.
The Biz Club started with a character called Jeffrey Poynton back in the day.
Yeah.
He was the only person to have a personal banking license rather than a corporate one.
Wow.
Only person to ever achieve that. He died at the beginning of COVID. The Biz Club itself is loosely blue, shall we say. So it's a conservative Biz Club where we try and get some speakers from politics. We've had some local MPs with Alicia Kearns. Back in the day, we had Nigel Farage, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Deputy Chief Governor of the Bank of England, which caused a stir because he told us things that he shouldn't have done. And then that got out.
Suddenly Uppingham's famous.
We were briefly.
Yeah.
And we've just this last Friday had a luncheon where we're running an award for entrepreneurs.
Oh, right. Yep.
And on Friday, we had a luncheon where they did a presentation. And on the 25th of November, we're having a full black tie dinner.
Oh, excellent.
If you don't mind me including you on the mailing list.
Go ahead.
Send you the invite. Could be an interesting evening. Yeah, so that's what I'm involved in there. I haven't got a speaker for that yet, which I'm working on.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you'd like to be included in the list, I'll send it. Get you on the invite list.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Yeah, no, please do. Love to do stuff like that. Do like that. What sort of speaker are you looking for, Mark?
Now, that's a good question. For that evening, I want somebody that's business orientated because it's entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Somebody who's got a story to tell, somebody who's quite engaging, somebody who can tell a story, shall we say.
Yeah.
If you've got any suggestions, would be greatly appreciated. But on other occasions, we tend to have people, like I just said, some politicians, some business people. We were really lucky, so lucky. We had a lady, Karen, I think it said Emery, it's not Emery, Karen, and she is a director for Apple.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
And she's in charge of all the cameras that go in all their products.
Bloody hell.
And she grew up in a 2 up, 2 down in Colville.
Yeah.
So fantastic. I loved her speech.
Yeah.
She was amazing. But yeah, we're looking for anybody who can tell a story.
Yeah, there's a couple of people that speak. So we do Growth Club once a quarter. We've changed the format for the last couple, but historically, the people that spring to mind, we had a guy called Steve Judge, who's a Paralympian. He was really good, but he was involved in a big car accident. So it's his story about learning to walk again to being, I've forgotten what he was. He was para triathlete, world champion, Another 5 times, something ridiculous.
Wow.
He's what's his book called? I'll send you the name of the book afterwards, Mark. So oh shit. Oh yeah, I should know that. Steve Judge book to Mark. And then there's a guy we do some work with at Action Coach, a guy called Frank Dick, who not only partially business, he's a sports coach. But so he was head of performance for UK Athletic in the days of Steve Ovett, Seb Coe,
Tony
Thompson. Then he was, I know he's done some work with the Formula One teams. I've forgotten which tennis guy he worked with. He did some work, a lot of work with Alex Ferguson at Manchester United. Most recently, I've not spoken to him for a while, but he was working with Eddie Jones at England Rugby until obviously Eddie Jones went. So I'm not sure if he's continued under Steve or not. But and it's not a conversation I'm going to have with him on an open call. So it's next time I see him in a cafe somewhere, I'll have a chat with him. But but he is a brilliant speaker. The first time I saw him speak, he'd done I don't know, he was meant to do an hour. I looked at my watch and he was in 1 hour and 10 minutes, and I was absolutely transfixed. Absolutely brilliant speaker as well. So, but obviously you pay for these guys as well, so it depends how much you want to spend on them.
Yeah. Well, normally we don't pay for anybody, so
yeah.
But anyway,
I can think of, Mark. Yeah, if I get some ideas, I'll let you know. There's quite a few people around who and if you want somebody business orientated as well, so let's see what we've got.
Yeah, be great.
Cool. Yeah, look forward to it. 25th of November.
Yes.
Just check me diary. No, you're good that weekend.
Good. I'll put you on the list.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
And feel free to circulate it as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, if you want me to, that's fine. We can do that.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. Cool.
Excellent.
So I will talk to you in a couple of weeks' time.
Excellent. Look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time, Mark.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Cheers.